こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リーズユナイテッドの田中碧に関する動画です。リーズユナイテッドは、プレミアリーグ第29節で、サンダーランドに1対0で敗戦し、また降格争いに入ったように思われ、またファルカの選手起用や試合、中のマネージメントについて、疑問が投げかけられています。リーズファンでおなじみのKageyは、リーグ戦で6試合未出場の田中碧の現状に絶望し、同情し、ありえないと嘆いています。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょう。
So when it comes to us and why we didn't beat Sunderland, there's a whole host of reasons. Referee might have been part of it, but he wasn't the main reason. And I went through that yesterday. I'm not going to repeat those reasons. The point being, I'm not going to keep on coming on here and talking about bad officiating when it's happening all across the league. Brighton managers complaining, Liverpool complaining. It's all bad people. It's all across the board. It's no agenda against Leeds United. But what can we do to improve our stake? And this is what I want to get into. Barron put this out, and this is nothing new here. Leeds didn't have their first shot of the second half until the 73rd minute, already 1-0 down. The system and all players was not working from early, and Farke should have acted earlier. This resembled the grimmest championship games of his tenure. And what I want to go into from this as well before I continue is that I'm very balanced when it comes to Daniel Farke. And this is where people can't read me because it's either one thing or the other with a lot of people. I don't work that way. If Daniel Farke says something I agree with, I'm going to agree with it. Just because I don't think he's the long-term manager for Leeds United, I'm not just going to disagree with everything he does or not give him praise where it's due. But he has gone back into the before the 49ers put out that other warning that he might get sacked, he's gone back to that again. He's gone back to that system. We always know that when he gets his favorites in, he does not let them go no matter what. You know, and that Gruev game, it was an anomaly. You know, since he called him Stoichkov, Gruev has done nothing, and he continues to get starts. Meanwhile, there's other players that can have an off half, and if you're not in his favor, you're not going to be seen again. Look at Buonanotte. We'll probably see him this weekend in the Cup. But my point is, when I'm talking about Daniel Farke, people, I am being as fair as possible. Now, there was a news report recently that his future's up in the air because contract talks have been shelved. I don't even think that's even a thing. He's got another year left on his deal, and I do think you need to go to the end of the season to see where we are, and see where we go from there. But what I want to say is, I saw something with, I think it's Peter Lowry. Forgive me if I've said his name wrong, but he was talking about the vision that Leeds United have and Daniel Farke, and they're all on one page. You know, they're all intertwined. It's all, you know, working smoothly. But what I would say, people, and two things can be true. If we survive in the Premier League this season, he deserves all the praise, no matter how we've got there. And we're in a little sticky patch at the minute. No matter how we've got there, if we survive, that is job done. But then it all depends on what you want to do next season. Who do you want to keep? Because let's face it, I said this last year about Ramazani, and it will be the same for Nanto and Tanaka, who we'll get into in a moment. But a few of these players will not want to be here next season because there's no future for them. Like, why would you be here? Unless you're happy just collecting a check every week and being a sub and know that you're not going to get called up unless there's a suspension or injury, why would you stay here? Why would you stay here? Look at how Tanaka, people. Premier League 2026, 1 minute versus Liverpool, 10 minutes versus Man United, a minute versus Newcastle, 9 minutes versus Fulham, 24 minutes versus Everton, and he's been unused since. 45 minutes of Premier League football this year and no appearance in the league since late January. That's unacceptable. But how Tanaka, who is another one of our weapons going forward, where, you know, he finds that back post. You know, we've seen him this season come up with some goals, clutch, back post goals. But ever since that Brentford game, and he did not play well, so again, I'm not excusing how Tanaka. Ever since that game, and even games before when Farke has called him out on the pitch for missing a run, how Tanaka has been in the doghouse. He doesn't get played, and now he's going to probably get a start against Norwich, look rusty as hell, and people will say, that's why he's not playing. Baloney. We have done this before under Daniel Farke, and we've made players look absolutely poor or not given minutes. Meanwhile, they go elsewhere, pick up England caps, or get valued at 25 million. It's no coincidence. He's got to utilize the squad better. And if you're not going to do this, you know, in the next game against Crystal Palace, league game, not the cup game, that's for the players to get some minutes under their belt. if you're not going to do this, then we're just going to keep on seeing the same results. And he thinks that a point away every time is like it's a gold medal for him. But you cannot set up that way at home against Sunderland, who are injury ravaged. I need to remind people, injury ravaged Sunderland that hadn't won. They've won 2 games in a long time. And we set up like we were setting up for Man City at home just a few days earlier. That's unacceptable, people. You've got to be more flexible. And when he had that period of being more flexible, after that second half of Man City, it was like, okay, he's unlocked the recipe. We can see how these players need to be utilized to get the best out of this team, to get the best out of Calvert-Lewin, seeing the best of Biol in a back 3 in the center, which allows Goodmanson and Bogle to roam free and be our creative sparks that way. And we've gone back to the 4-2-3-1. And it's so rigid and there's like 9 defensive players on the pitch. That's our doing. That's not the referees. That's no one else. That is Daniel Farke's doing. So how Tanaka, and then if you just want to go to somebody else who could possibly make a difference, and again, I'm not saying that he would make a difference, but we don't know. It's Willie Nonto. In games, you can see on the screen, there's a couple of greens there. There's the 2 wins in this period. He couldn't have come off the bench in a bit earlier in some of the games, or even off the bench in a couple of the other ones where we didn't win, just to give us that little bit of someone who does carry a threat, putting the ball forward or running with the ball instead of passing backwards, sideways. The point is, people, if this is what we're going to do for the foreseeable future, then Daniel Farke's your man. But again, if you're looking in the summer and you're thinking, okay, we want to take the next step, we want to recruit better players, and in order to do that, sorry to say, you're going to have to get a better coach, then you're going to have to change it. But the thing for me is when you listen to the director, and things can change, of course, it doesn't sound like if Daniel Farke was to keep us up, he's going anywhere. These guys have already shown us after the first year we failed to get up that he was the man for the second year. If he keeps us in the Premier League, Daniel Farke, I honestly don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't. And it will be because of outside forces, PR things. I keep on telling you guys, don't listen to people that don't watch Leeds every week. They don't know the ins and outs. They just see that we'll survive. That's it. It will be very harsh to see Daniel Farke lose his job. But the red flags have been there since the championship. Lack of squad utilization, lack of putting on subs to give them ample minutes to make an impression. Overplaying your favorites because you trust them. And you know what the funny thing is, though? For Daniel Farke, if we were to get relegated, and I really hope we don't, people, I cannot stress that enough. This club cannot go back to the championship. But if we do go back down, the players that he's been loyal to will be looking for the first exit out, the ones that will be able to. And I'm looking at a few players that will definitely have suitors next season if we were to get relegated. They will probably still have suitors if we stay in the Premier League. A few of them have performed that well, but they won't show the same loyalty back to him. Meanwhile, we got players just rotting on the bench. And this will be the thing as well. For the people that will say, but look how long it's worked. We've got this point total doing what we've done. There will be the same people moaning in the summer when we're selling How Tanaka for £5 million and going, that's really low. Well, yeah, Joel Peru probably going for 8 million instead of the 16 that we could have got last summer. Who knows what we could have got in January? His value just continues to dwindle. Lucas Perry, our number 1 goalkeeper who we could have listened to an offer from Besiktas in January, he's just sitting on the bench. And you got Carl Darlow pushing in daisy cutter penalties into the roof of the net. There's just so many things that need to improve. And like I say, I sound unhappy with what's going on. I need to just reaffirm I'm very happy with what we've done so far with this group of players. But we're not maximizing their potential as a group at this moment in time. It's not happening. So things need to improve. Danny Farke needs to look within himself. We weren't hearing nothing about referees before. When we was like 9 points clear West Ham, I've got to say, we weren't hearing nothing about poor referees. But it's been a hot topic over the last couple of games because things are not going the way. And some of the players just look tired as well. They shouldn't be tired. There's something that he said that is right. If they can't recoup after three days of a home match to then play another home match, they shouldn't be pro footballers. But this is a different era now. They're trained differently. It's not like back in the day where they just play, have a drink and a smoke after. It's a completely different game. They look after themselves differently now. But yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that Tottenham result later, but man, we could have made things so much easier. And the thing is as well, I'm going long here, but stay with me. We lose against Sunderland. I genuinely believe that gives Forest and West Ham a boost. I think it goes, man, if we can get 3 points or, pick up something in our next game, we've got Leeds right back in it. And they've done that just last night. So we'll wait and see what Tottenham do. Just give me your thoughts. I know I've said a lot here, but give me your thoughts and feelings about how you're feeling in regards to Daniel Farke, the season, and everything else, what we need to do going forward in the comment section. Just before we get off, just a couple of updates. Our Premier League fixture against Man United has moved to Monday, 13th of April, with an 8 p.m. kickoff at Old Trafford. So if you made plans for that, rearrange them. And lastly, we're heading to the US. Leeds United are pleased to announce the club will be visiting the United States as part of a pre-season ahead of the 26-27 campaign. Salute to you if you're going out there. But I'm happy in one sense because I do want this club to grow globally. It needs that. It needs that worldwide recognition. You only get that by being in the Premier League, doing these kind of tours. So hopefully it helps grow the international fan base as well. But listen, people, I've gone on long enough. That is it. Like the video, drop your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.
次は解説です。今回は難しいボキャブラリーはあまりありませんでしたが、面白い表現などもありましたので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。This resembled the grimmest championship games of his tenure.
グリムは厳しい、暗い、ひどいといったネガティブな状況を表す形容詞です。ニュースやスポーツの解説でよく使われます。例えば The situation looks grim というと、状況はかなり厳しいという意味になります。サッカーの解説では、grim performance というと、内容がひどい試合や厳しいパフォーマンスというニュアンスになります。単に悪いよりも、もっと深刻で暗い印象を与える言葉です。ニュース英語やスポーツ英語でよく出る単語なので覚えておくと理解しやすくなります。
This resembled the grimmest championship games of his tenure. This resembled the grimmest championship games of his tenure. And that Gruev game, it was an anomaly.
アノモリは、例外や異常という意味の名詞です。普通の流れやパターンから外れた出来事を表します。例えば、That game was an anomaly といえば、あの試合は例外的だったという意味になります。スポーツでは、一度だけ極端に良かったり悪かったりする結果について使われることがあります。データ分析では異常値という意味でもよく使われます。つまり、普段とは違う特別なケースを表す単語だと覚えると分かりやすいです。少しフォーマルですが、ニュースや解説ではとても便利な単語です。
And that Gruev game, it was an anomaly. And that Gruev game, it was an anomaly because contract talks have been shelved.
シェルは棚に置くという意味の動詞ですが、英語では比喩的に計画や話し合いを棚上げにするという意味でもよく使われます。例えば They shelved the project というと、そのプロジェクトは一旦保留になったという意味になります。完全に中止したわけではなく、しばらく進めないというニュアンスです。ニュースやビジネスの文章でもよく見かける表現です。もともとは棚に置くという意味なので、後でやるために棚に置いておくというイメージで覚えると理解しやすくなります。
Because contract talks have been shelved. Because contract talks have been shelved. They're all intertwined.
Intertwine は絡み合う、密接に結びつくという意味の動詞です。もともとは紐や枝などが物理的に絡み合うときに使われますが、人間関係や考え方、ビジネスとスポーツのように複数の要素が深く関係していているときにも使えます。例えば Their futures are intertwined なら、彼らの将来は密接に結びついているという意味です。単に関係があるよりももっと深く複雑につながっているニュアンスがあります。少しフォーマルですが、とても表現力のある単語です。
They're all intertwined. They're all intertwined. Baloney.
バローニーは、デタラメ、馬鹿げた話、ナンセンスという意味のかなり口語的な表現です。誰かの説明や意見に対して、そんなのはおかしい、信じられないと言いたいときに使います。例えば That's baloney で、そんなのはデタラメだという意味になります。少し古めですが、今でも会話では十分通じます。ニュースよりは、映画やスポーツの議論、YouTube のコメントなどで見かけやすい単語です。フォーマルな場面ではあまり使わず、砕けた会話で使う表現だと覚えると分かりやすいです。
Baloney. Baloney. I need to remind people, injury ravaged Sunderland that.
Ravage は、ひどく破壊する、 甚大な被害を与えるという意味の強い単語です。自然災害や戦争、病気などが大きなダメージを与えるときによく使われます。例えば The town was ravaged by fire なら、その町は火災で壊滅的な被害を受けたという意味です。スポーツでは Injury ravaged team のように使われることが多く、怪我人だらけのチームという意味になります。単なるダメージよりも被害の大きさが強く伝わる単語です。ニュースやスポーツ記事でよく出るので、覚えておくと便利です。
I need to remind people, injury ravaged Sunderland, that I need to remind people, injury ravaged Sunderland, that they don't know the ins and outs.
インサンタウツは、細かい事情や内情という意味の表現です。単なる表面的な情報ではなく、内部の動きや詳しい背景まで含めて知っていることを表します。例えば Know the ins and outs of the club なら、そのクラブの内情をよく知っているという意味になります。ビジネス、スポーツ、組織の話でよく使われる便利な表現です。全部の細かいところまで分かっているというニュアンスで覚えると使いやすいです。日常会話でも使えますし、説明系の英語でもよく出ます。
They don't know the ins and outs. They don't know the ins and outs. His value just continues to dwindle.
Dwindle は、だんだん減る、次第に小さくなるという意味の動詞です。ポイントは、急に減るのではなく、時間をかけて少しずつ減っていくことです。例えば His value continues to dwindle なら、彼の価値が少しずつ下がり続けているという意味になります。お金、人数、希望、チャンスなど、いろいろなものに使える便利な単語です。スポーツでは、選手の市場価値やチームの希望が下がっていくときに使われます。ニュースや記事でもよく出る表現です。
His value just continues to dwindle. His value just continues to dwindle.
いかがでしたか？田中碧は FA カップのバーミンガム戦では先発出場したものの、リーグ戦では6試合未出場と完全に干されている状態です。この動画でKageyも言っている通り、一時はウエストハムと9ポイント差だったものが、すでに3ポイント差になっている状態で、完全に降格争いに巻き込まれていると誰もが感じていますが、ここに来て、また改めて田中を使うべきだという声が少し出てきたと感じます。次は FA カップのノーリッジ戦で、田中碧の先発起用の可能性は高いはずですが、Kageyも懸念する通り、試合感もキレも鈍っている可能性は高い。ですが、今できる田中碧を全て出し切ってほしいと願いつつ、単純に楽しみたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。